there's lots of ways to heat up a blank. I'm going to use a heat gun because it's straightforward and simple, but the new Masterfit heating system is pretty slick. It's so new I don't even have it. Generally, people will use a heat gun or one of the Masterfit griddler systems with 2 heating platens. We don't advise boiling because the capture material is just slightly porous and it actually absorbs a little bit of water, and the water that's absorbed makes it a little difficult to adhere the rear foot post that we call an auto post. And we'll get to that here in a little while. So a dry heat is the best way to go. A temperature pistol to gauge how we're doing here. We're right at 210, 205, 206 in the back part of this blank. That's what we want. We're looking for about 205 to 210. Up in the front, 180. It's right about where we need to be. We're going to lose a little bit of working time if we wait. I'm going to give it just a touch more heat now that it's been sitting. We'll bring our AirVac tray back over and place this blank. Okay, Kathleen, I'm almost ready for you here. So as I place this, it's the same as our system used to be. Slowly, 3 fingers pressing the heel cup down into the casting tray. We're not looking for a very deep heel cup rim. We're trying to keep it fairly low because we don't want to have to grind this insole. I'm going to lay it down the lateral side, and I'm going to hold this in place with one hand so I can grab the foot with the other. I'm going to slide the heel into the back of the casting tray, let the forefoot lay exactly where it wants to, and then I'm going to have a look at how the blank is sitting under the foot, and what I'd like to see is the blank centered under the 1st and 5th met heads. And I can see that we have a little too much blank to the medial side. So Kat, pull your foot out. I'm just going to shift this over just a touch. Let's try placing the foot back again. Now it looks like the blank is centered under the middle of the forefoot using the 1st and 5th as our gauge. I'm going to go ahead and give the foot a firm wiggle and push on the forefoot, and we'll just leave that one right there as we prepare to cook our second blank. I like to pre-form the heel cup rim with my thumb and 1st finger just to start a little bit of that cupped heel radius. I again lay into the back of the shape, hold 3 fingertips, just slowly press it down, trying to create the same heel cup rim height with a fairly flat horizontal heel cup rim. And again, I'm going to lay it down the lateral side. We'll place the foot, holding the foot with one hand, slide the foot in with the other. See where the forefoot is laying, and it looks pretty centered right there. What I might do, Kat, just keep your forefoot down, but pick up your toe tips for me. Yep. I'm just going to scooch this blank over a touch, set it back down. Yep, bingo. And because Kat is stuffed into kind of a snug fit, you can see that we don't have quite as much overhang now because I trimmed that one as this one. But I think we're going to be fine with that stock insole. So we'll just keep you right there. Keep this foot in place. Go ahead and pull this foot out, Kat. I'm going to take my fingers and just feel this cast shape for any sort of wrinkles or inconsistencies that I might be able to manipulate while it's still warm. One of the really, really cool things about the AirVac tray system is that it captures a pretty prominent metatarsal arch contour. Some feet have a transverse arch just behind the ball of the foot that really needs that support to ensure that the foot's comfortable and not numb. The nerves in between each of the metatarsal bones can be impinged if there's not enough transverse arch contact from your custom footbed, and that's one of the big benefits of the AirVac system, is that it captures that metatarsal arch contour really well. So I can see that and I can feel it, so I'm not going to change that. If it felt abrupt, I might just massage it slightly with my fingers, but that seems pretty good. So I'm just going to place her foot back on that. So at this point, we're just waiting for the blank to cool, to set, and maintain its shape, and then we can remove it from the tray. We just simply need to wait for these blanks to cool and set, to take their shape and cure out. We could speed up this process by applying some sort of a cooling medium. Go ahead and pull your feet out again, Kat. One of the nice things about the Instaprint QF insole is it's just a little bit tacky. It sticks itself down into the casting tray. So by pulling the feet out, we don't necessarily risk this footbed changing shape. It's kind of stuck in there doing its thing. So we could leave it be and let it cool as is, or if I wanted to speed things up, I might get a bag of snow if I've got snow outside, or I might grab a bag of cold marbles out of the freezer, out of the break room in my shop, and set it on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll just speed things up a little bit. Okay, so marbles are pretty handy because they got a little bit of weight, they hold the footbed down, maintain the cold. So as soon as these blanks have cooled enough to have captured the shape permanently and not alter if I pull them out, we'll go ahead and proceed to tracing our stock insole length. That's our template for length, and also for what we call toe character, the shape of the forefoot. So we'll use the stock insole for that. We've got a special scissors that trims the Instaprint QF insole really well. And then once we've done that, we need to make a decision about whether or not we post the insole. I think that's a good idea for Kathleen. She has a really mobile foot. So using the auto post to add that underneath the heel will produce a flat spot, and that will stabilize the insole so it's not rocking and rolling side to side. So this is a good way to make a pretty supportive insole for that average to flexible foot. If we had a more rigid foot, or maybe an athlete that was a snowboarder looking for a more compliant and mobile feel inside their snowboard boot, we might not use the auto post as a posting implement. So we should be pretty good. Let's see how we're doing here. If I'm ready to go, this should feel pretty firm, and you can see if I just kind of grab it and give it a little flick, it snaps back down. So these feel like they're ready to be removed. This was the first one. As I pull it up, it just hops right out of the tray, and it does not feel warm to the touch. So this one's done. Do the same with this one. As I peel it up, if it doesn't just hop right out of the tray, I'll use a side-to-side motion, and that'll crack it loose. This one's just a touch warm, so if I felt like it, and I do, I'm going to place it back in there. Place our cooling medium on it, and we can move that out of the way while we work on the other insole that's ready to go.